Live from MMA Fighting Studios, this is Between the Links. And now, your host, Mike Heck.
The iconic voice of Esther Lynn welcomes you to a brand new edition of BTL. Happy Thursday to us all. Hope you're doing fantastic. We have a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming off of UFC 325, and I thought we'd talk a little bit about that, but we might even talk about UFC 325 at all with all that's gone down this week with new UFC Mexico fights and new main events and champions teasing comebacks, Dana White jumping on the stand yesterday. There's just so much that has happened. We obviously have a very busy weekend coming up in the combat sports world, and I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions about that, which I will answer. And joining me to answer those questions, Mr. No Gray Area himself. He is the Hot Take Kid, the man with the most fiery of takes, including Alexander Volkanovski not being the featherweight GOAT, at least not yet, the one and only Jed Michoud. Jed, how we doing?
It's not even a fiery take. That's just correct. And I make a compelling argument if you are a person who's actually attempting to be persuaded as opposed to digging your heels in. It's on the website. There's an opinion column out it where I do this thing called give you facts and numbers. It's wild as opposed to just I don't know how much we'll talk about this, and so I do just very briefly want to get this off my chest. I think I've settled on I'd be a lot more open to the idea of Volk being the featherweight GOAT if they hadn't been doing this instantaneously. Like literally since the day Max Holloway beat Jose Aldo, they were like, he's the featherweight GOAT, which in hindsight, I mean, even at the time was very stupid, but now like, it's just a ludicrous assertion. And then they basically did this with Volk, like right after he beat Max a bunch. And it's just like, what if, like, I'd be more open if now, like if you genuinely started and were like, I think he's got it now, I'm a lot more open to that argument, but it's all people who have been dismissing Jose Aldo for in a decade at this point. And so I'm like, I have no time for your nonsense. Here are numbers. Tell me when these numbers are matched.
So this is just, I mean, you believe this obviously with your whole chest, but a lot of this is also just pure stubbornness on your part. Which
I mean, there's definitely a stubbornnness because I told you in the post show, I was like, look, I'm just not going to fight it anymore because it's just not worth my mental bandwidth. If he beats Movsar, I think it's a totally like if assuming Movsar beats Lerone Murphy or I guess if Lerone Murphy and he beats them, then it's a totally fine position to take. I'm not sure I'll be there. I'll just have to see when we get there, frankly. But like, I'm just not going to fight it anymore because like, I'm not convincing anyone. Like nobody's like, oh yeah, like you've drawn your line in the sand and I've given you mine and you can have yours and we will stand apart and I'll stand on my side with numbers and facts and you'll be like vibes and I'll be like, cool.
You're standing on the correct side in your opinion.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, that's
insofar as there's a correct side to an objective question, right? Like it's nobody's correct because there's not like this is not math, you know, but I've seen nothing. Nobody has made an argument that dissuades me, even some of our very own colleagues.
Yes. Well, let's get into the questions. Let's get into all the topics. By the way, just because I don't think we're going to get a lot of UFC 325 questions. I mean, as you can see in our little overlay graphic here, UFC 325 happened. Like it's a thing that happened. It took place. It is going to be the most quickly forgotten UFC pay-per-view maybe ever, just because of how it ended. And the main event was a fight that no one wanted. And it actually was a worse fight than the first one. Volk just beat him a lot more. So I am curious, Jed, now that we've had a few days to digest UFC 325, years from now when the grandkids run up and say, Grandpa Jed, tell me about UFC 325. What will you remember most? What do you remember most about UFC 325? What will be the biggest takeaway? What will be the memorable thing that happened?
Dude, it's fucking 4 days after, and I don't remember a thing that happened in that event, right? Like,
it's not good.
I mean, my biggest takeaway on the night and still is like, why did this happen? Why did we do this? What was gained? What was ventured here? Because like at least at 323 or 324, sorry, not 323, at least at 324, the main event was fun, right? Like people have come out and they, there's this very high and mighty and a bit, a bit self-aggrandizing. Well, that was actually a sloppy, ugly fight, and I'm only interested in high-level mixed martial arts. And those people can stuff it. Like that fight was fun. We didn't get a fun main event. Like we just got the same one we got 10 months ago, and it was boring. And the core concept was, well, Diego was fun, and so that sucked. And then like the rest of it's just like this is already a thin card, and so good win for Benoit Saint-Denis. Like this maybe, I don't think this is true, but this is wildly speculative, right? But like I think the best chance this card has to like be remembered or talked about at all in the future is purely this was the start of Mauricio Ruffi's run. And I don't think that's really going to happen. I don't project him to get to the title, but if he does, like that's the only way this card has any memory to it whatsoever, because otherwise this will be the most forgotten Volk title defense. Like it just won't be a card that has any juice to it. So it happened. Shout out to Taliesin Teixeira and Tai Tuivasa. That was funny. But yeah, I assume we're not going to talk about that much because like y'all get to decide. If y'all want to talk about it, we can. I just don't know what you'd want to talk about.
Yeah. I think we enjoyed Tai Tuivasa, Taliesin Teixeira more than any two people in the world.
Correct. Nobody else liked that fight.
I thought it was very fun.
Live, but we had a great time together. We'll always have that. But like nobody else. Again, that fight was I think we both agreed it was a good idea anyway, but if I needed to convince anybody that us picking opposite teams was the way to go, that's the fight I'll show them, because that made us care about that fight as opposed to being with everybody else.
Yes, I would 100% agree with you. So I had some people reach out to me on social media saying like, UFC 325 will be a turning point. It'll be a turning point for the UFC to match make their championship fights more from a more meritocratic perspective. Like this is the turning point because no one cared going in and fewer people cared coming out. And I was like,
that's a take.
I was like, I appreciate you spending the time to finger type this out, but you could not be more wrong. You think the UFC cares about how little people cared about this fight? It is Thursday. Do you remember after UFC 324, we got numbers on Monday, right? Oh, this thing peaked at 5.93 million views. We averaged just under 5 million total views for all of UFC 324. We got nothing with this card because I don't even know if 1 million people watch this and they could just access it any time. I've never seen a card with so little buzz.
Yeah. I respect that take. I don't think I agree with it, but
I respect it.
If you're going to take, that's how you make a stance, right? You pick a pretty ludicrous proposition and then you give it some valid defense. So I respect it. I don't agree. And I think we didn't talk about this at the time, but in hindsight, it also kind of makes sense to be like, I don't know, back-to-back pay-per-views is sort of a lot. The first one was the first one in 6 months, and so there was an energy, there was an excitement, and then there was literally outside of the card just straight up being worse. There was no time to get pumped about it. It was just like, oh, we just in the middle of the week we're still processing the Gaethje, what does this mean, etc. And then suddenly we're just back to another pay-per-view. So I think that probably also plays like all of these things work in concert to just make this one of the more forgettable pay-per-views of recent memory.
If this was UFC Sydney instead of UFC 325, do you think it would be looked at differently going in and heading out?
Almost certainly, because the numbers, rightly or wrongly, the numbers convey an expectation with the fan base of grandeur. And instead, like, everyone would be like, even though, here in America, we're not paying anything Now it's all a flat fee, right? But globally, there are still people paying pay-per-view. And so if instead they're not, right? Like, if the English fans aren't dropping whatever it is, the 20 quid to get
point.
the thing, and instead this is just like, oh, I get Alexander Volkanovski for free, or functional free, or whatever it is. I think that goes down a lot smoother than you get. Again, Volk, this was really a one fight card. There were the main card had some other fights that were interesting, but nobody is entering the door to watch Benoit Saint-Denis versus Dan Hooker realistically, right? Like, nobody is tuning in. I'm going to buy this or check this event out for that. You're going for the main event, and the main event was really weak, both beforehand, which we talked ad nauseum about, and in actualization. And so if this was just UFC Sydney, I think it would have gone down way, way better.
Well, let's get into it. Of course, if you super chat, we push you up to the top of the line, but let's get right into this. Revership. Need to hear Jed's take on his boy Lonnie Kavanagh getting the call to fight Brandon Moreno at UFC Mexico. In my opinion, this isn't that crazy considering all the nonsense happening in other divisions. So this affects both of us, Jed, when it comes to our fantasy teams.
I wasn't that pleased about it.
I'm very pleased about it. I feel much better about things. I mean, I thought he would beat Asuma Almabayev. I'm quite confident he will beat Lonnie Kavanagh, especially in Mexico.
Don't be quite confident. That's aggressive.
I feel pretty good about it. And it's a ranked win, which will be helpful as well. So your reaction to this, was this the right call by the UFC?
No. I don't think it's that bad. There was a huge backlash to it, which I don't think was warranted. I think this is fine, right? Like, you are making chicken salad out of less desirable chicken, right? When a fighter pulls out of a main event. It's just it, especially with this sort of timeline on offer here. Because when is UFC Mexico? How many weeks away is that? It's what, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? I'm not math guy.
Yeah, 3 weeks. 3 weeks from Saturday.
Yeah, it's like 3 weeks to do a main event in Mexico City, like 5 rounds at altitude, like at altitude. It's never going to be perfect. In fact, I would honestly, if I were running the world or whatever, I would be like, if every main event, especially for something like this, a card like this in a Utah, in a Mexico City, should have a preset, fight to jump up on the rest of the card. So we've also got some flyweights going at it, and we can bump them up if something need be. But it's not what happened here, and so you're just scrambling to find something. The reporting that came out that Kyoji Horiguchi wanted to take it, he just also wanted to fight on Saturday. That is what's curious to me, because they could have just waited, right? Like, they could have told Lonnie and been like, hey, Lonnie, 50-50 chance you're going to get the call to step up here. So start prepping, we'll let you know in a couple of days.
Could announce it on Saturday after
and you can announce
event.
It. Correct. And then you could just be like, all right, Kyoji, if you want to do it, we got to make sure we can't say yes and let you fight, or like, we can't be like, we got to see, because maybe you break your hand, maybe you can't do it, but show us. Like, if you go out there, you dust him in 20 seconds, or you just clean dominant win and there's no problem, sure, we can snap call that, and everybody would be stoked on that. So that would have made more sense to me, but my assumption is the UFC is just like, no, Kyoji would have gotten it if he'd have said, sure, like, we'll just bump him, but it doesn't even really matter. We've got the co-main for this weekend, and that's fine. And there is a little bit of remember when we did this with Josh Van? And the circumstances aren't the same. Obviously, Josh Van was on a big winning streak, or not a huge, but like had put some wins together and turned around quickly to fight, Brandon Royval. But still, like, okay, now we can give a young guy an opportunity against a former 2-time champion who is coming off the worst loss of his career. And if Moreno, maybe this is a bit of a softer touch for Moreno in a friendly territory, right? Like, he's in Mexico City, but it is kind of way better for us. If Lonnie Kavanagh beats Brandon Moreno, that's a pretty good outcome for the UFC versus Kyoji beating Brandon Moreno. or Kyoji losing to Brandon Moreno. And then it's like, all right, well, now both of them are out of the title mix. Or if Kyoji wins, it's like, who the hell's fighting for the belt? Like 7 dudes should be fighting for the belt right now. So I kind of structurally get it, even if I would have preferred, let's see. Let's just let Kyoji fight on Saturday and see what happens. And then we can make the announcement. We didn't have to rush to this, but I kind of get it. And then, shame for my fantasy team. I'm not big upside for my fantasy team. I will say that, right? Like if Lonnie pulls it off, that's mega. And at least he is bumped forward a couple of weeks. So now there's more opportunity for him to fight again this season, I guess, if I'm trying to silver lining this.
I mean, it's good silver lining. I respect it. I appreciate it. I had some obvious takeaways. One, Charles Johnson should be livid about this. He put his name out there. I'll fight him. I know he's coming off of a loss, but now he's stepping in to fight Bruno Silva anyways.
You know who else is coming off of a loss?
Lonnie Kavanaugh's coming off
Lonnie
of a loss.
Kavanaugh.
And guess who he lost to? To Charles Johnson, who got finished by Charles Johnson, mind you. So he's like, okay, I guess
he should be upset.
He should be pissed. Brandon Royval, I mean, I think would have been an interesting story to just be like, all right, I'll step in on short notice again and fight you again in Mexico.
That'd be really funny.
That would have been very funny. That would have been
really funny.
My biggest takeaway of all, because I even posted some stuff, I was like, who should it be? Because there's no way Moreno's not fighting on this card. And I mean, so many people responded, sent DMs. This is it. Muhammad Mokaev's coming back. Your take is wrong. Here it is. The door is open. And I'm like,
he pitched for it.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. And my thought was like, you know what? If he's coming back, they're doing it now. Because otherwise, he ain't. This is the chance. You step in, you fight Brandon in Mexico City on short notice. You're in. We're giving you another chance. That is the most intriguing option of all, honestly. And the UFC still didn't do it. They were just like, nah, we'll just throw Lonnie Kavanaugh in there instead. He ain't coming back, guys. He ain't coming back. They're done with him. They are done with the Muhammad Mokaev experience, and that's okay. Muhammad could still have a very lucrative career elsewhere. So, but that was my biggest takeaway. I was like, yep, they ain't bringing him back.
I think he'll come back. I don't think he'll come back soon, but he's still 25. Like, it's just at some point the water will go under the bridge. But this would have been a good opportunity. And nope. So let's go, Lonnie. Let's, maybe Brandon's cooked. I don't think Brandon's cooked, but maybe he is. And if so, Lonnie Kavanaugh, my guy.
That's gonna be a very busy day. I probably won't even be watching that fight take place because that will be RAF 6 in Arizona. Jose and I will both be there, taking in all of the wrestling action as UFC Mexico is going down. Some super chats. Chase, let's talk about some Tom hate. He got poked in the eye and quit, then needed, quote, injections. Meanwhile, Rose got poked, continued fighting, had surgery, and can't sneeze for months. This fits my narrative.
She can't sneeze? What is that?
Yeah, she can't sneeze.
I don't know about that can't sneeze for months thing. That's wild.
I think that's what she said when she said she posted that video that she's going into surgery. She won't be able to sneeze for a while. It's part of the eye surgery.
Okay. Yeah. I think that Tom Aspinall has done nothing wrong. And the longer this goes on, I know people will dig their heels in, but the longer this goes on, the more the people who are like, you should have fought, look like big dumb idiots. And it's okay. We all look like big dumb idiots sometimes, but yeah, I don't know, man. That guy hasn't fought for a while and he's had surgeries on his eyeballs. I think
he literally posted entire doctor's documentation about everything wrong with his friggin' eyes. So this is MMA. I mean, what can you do? But the beauty of MMA, just like most sports, all Tom has to do is just come back and win a fight and no one will care about any of this. It'll be donezo.
Yeah. My long-standing take that fighters aren't cowards continues to look mostly pretty good.
It's a great take.
And so, I don't know. I think the professional fist fighter who's world champion probably didn't look for a way out 4 minutes into a fight. He probably just got poked in the eye and couldn't see. That seems like that makes more sense to me.
Well, looks like those wondering about a Giannis trade at the deadline will be disappointed. There is no trade happening. So
that's wild, but okay.
Yes, Bucks have told teams that they are keeping Giannis through the deadline. This is per Shams. So there we go. What is a move that if a fighter landed would make them an instant legend to you, i.e. Ryu Shoryuken uppercut for me?
I mean, the Shoryuken uppercut would be pretty banging.
That would be pretty banging.
Showtime kick is sort of the best one to call for MMA because like it can be done. And like that's whenever, knock on wood, we don't want this to happen anytime soon. But whenever Anthony Pettis shuffles off this mortal coil, the first line of his obituary will be once ran off a cage and kicked a dude in the face in a championship fight. And it should be because that's like one of the 6 coolest things that's ever happened in the history of the sport. So that would be one. If somebody ever did another mighty armbar, like the mousetrap, that would be banging.
Josiah Harrell almost did it at LFA not that long ago.
I mean, that would just be sick. If anybody in MMA, like high level, not like Garbo thing, actually lands a Rolling Thunder KO, like that'll just be the coolest thing that happens that year. Because mostly you look like an idiot flopping, but that would be dope. Oh, if we could get the scissor sweep heel hook, shout out Rio Chonin, like that, like bring that back. If somebody hit like an Imanari roll, like actually successfully employed an Imanari roll, that'd be pretty. Like there are a lot of like really cool things that people don't do. But I'll give you one that this won't be a legend to anybody else, but it would make me particularly happy. Back when I used to grapple a lot, I was a particular fan of wrist locks because it's just a really annoying, crappy way to grapple. Frankly, like you shouldn't respect that level of the game. But I did it not all the time. I've had like high level black belts be like, "You suck," not because I was very good at grappling, but like you're just an annoying person because you're trying to grab my hands. The first person who like pulls off a straight up wrist lock, that they'll have my heart.
So you're like Michael Scott in The Office when he did improv, always pulling out the fake pistol and like ending the scene every time. You're that guy.
I don't think I've ever, like, honestly, outside of like specific drilling, I don't think I've ever finished like a triangle choke in a roll because like when you have the triangle, you also have their arm right there. And I would just grab the wrist. Like, okay, well, it's really hard to get you to tap to this choke. I'll grab your hands. So, like the first person who does some shit like that, I'll be like, yeah, you're my boy forever.
It would probably be like an RKO or like a Stone Cold Stunner or something. I'd be like, oh, that was pretty sick.
David Sandine with the Boston Crab. Yeah, if somebody ever rocks
somebody
a Boston
did that,
Crab
didn't
in
they?
a fight, like, but like in like a real UFC or PFL fight, not because all sorts of tomfoolery gets going on the regional scene. Like he's got to be like at least a modicum of real.
Yeah. Very fun. Joseph, at welterweight, Shavkat was taken out of the rankings after 423 days of inactivity. Colby's still in after 416 days of inactivity. How crazy is that? So obviously, let's throw that in there. RS40 with the super chat. Shavkat out of the rankings, but Colby's still there.
It was genuinely really funny.
I saw a lot of people really had an issue with this. I guess
it's very bad.
I mean,
I want to be clear. I'm fine with Shavkat exiting the rankings, but like they should also just boo Colby.
Yeah. I mean, Colby's not injured. Like Colby's just not fighting. I don't know why he's not fighting. He has literally said in pretty much every interview he's done, like, I want to fight. So I don't really know why he's not fighting. But Shavkat is like clearly injured and he's going to miss like all of this year. So like it's out there. The public knows he is definitely not fighting unless he is a miracle healer. Colby could fight in June. At some point, we're going to have to pull Colby out of the rankings. You know what I mean? Like, we're just going to have to pull him. But at least he is not hurt and out for a year at this point while trying to make a comeback. So I don't know what's going on with Colby. But I think, like, if we get past the White House card and he still is not booked, you pull him. Because you assume he's fighting on that card. But we'll see.
I mean, you should just pull him. He shouldn't have. Like, it's not even really a you should pull him. It's a whoever is still involved in the ranking panel, like, ranking him is egregiously silly. Like, just he hasn't won a fight in 7 years or whatever the stat is. It's ludicrous. Like, he hasn't beaten anybody that's ranked or on roster. Like, you just give up. Like, why is he in there? Very, very silly.
Let's see. I want to talk about Dana White in court, but I want it to be fun like Ally McBeal. I don't know how we can pull that off because I've never watched it. I don't know what that means, but
wait, go pull that back up. Sorry, I was chatting.
I want to talk about Dana White in court, but I want it to be fun like Ally McBeal.
Yeah, I've probably seen like 2 Ally McBeal episodes in my life. You know, those days when you're at home sick at school and after The Price is Right comes on and you just have to go to TNT to watch TV because there's what else you're not going to watch Days of Our Lives. So also all the episodes of Charmed I've ever seen came in similar situations.
Las Vegas.
Yeah. But I can't speak to what this question means in reference to Ally McBeal. I also, because I was off yesterday, I am only very loosely aware of the Dana White testimony in court. At some point I'll have to catch up and like read about it, but best I can tell, he acknowledged the truth that we all know, that he is no longer involved in UFC matchmaking and hasn't been for close to a decade.
Or negotiations or fighter contracts.
It's not like new info.
We've been telling... But now, like, the world can finally be like, see, I mean, I've gotten people like hitting me up today and being like, you and Jed have been saying this for like years that Dana has been like checked out and is not part of that end of the business. And I was like, I didn't really see it. But now, like, obviously after the testimony, it's there. And yeah, man, like if it wasn't like to this point, I don't understand why he's still in this position. Like, I mean, I get it. I think it's just kind of for him to be like, I'm the face of the company. Like, this is me. And obviously he is very important, as we've said for a long time, in regards to the business side of things. Like, they're not getting Paramount without Dana. They're not getting the sponsorship deals. They're not getting Bud Light without Dana. They're not getting a lot of this stuff without Dana being a part of it. But in terms of like fight operations and the day-to-day of that, they don't need him. He's not part of it. So when we say like they could dump him and they'll be fine, from a fight operations perspective, when we said this after the whole New Year's Eve incident, like, this is what we were talking about. They don't need him. He's not part of it. He's not in the negotiating room. He's not doing contracts. He's not talking to managers. It's Hunter Campbell. It's Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard. Like, is he in the war room when they're talking about certain things? Sure. But that's it. Like, that's as far as it goes. So he's not part of the fight operations. He's just part of like, oh, you're going to pay us this much? Oh, we're going to name this the Meta Apex? Sure. He's in those meetings. He's a part of that. Without him, that doesn't happen. But as far as the other stuff, this is a thing that you and I have known for quite some time.
Dude, he's a CEO. Like, if y'all have ever spent any time in any corporate structure, like, how often is your CEO doing shit? There's not. That's why there's a COO. That's why there's someone handling operations and doing that. Like, every corporate power I've ever worked for or at or with, like, the CEO at most was like, they are the big driving visionary of general direction of the ship. They're not manning the rudder, you know. This is that margin call scene where Irons is like, do you want to know why I'm in this chair? I tell you when the music stops. That's my only job. I'm not doing the rest of this shit. I just say and it is done. So yeah, like, it's just deeply unsurprising that he is not involved in the operations of the business. No CEO is. Like, they may occasionally, he can call up Hunter and be like, hey, I want this, or I talked to Donald Trump and he wants this for the White House. He can put his fingers on the scales as much as he wants to do. But that's just no CEO in the world does that. You hire management.
And that this also brings up like questions like this. With Dana saying he isn't that much involved in matchmaking, do you think the beef with Armin is between him and Hunter?
I think the beef with Armin is more so with Dana, but Hunter Campbell is the creation of Dana White, right? He is the downstream effect of Dana. So he's not going to have really like a massive amount of independent thoughts about how things. The beef with Armin is Armin pulled out of a title fight the day of or the day before. Right? That's the beef. The entire beef with Armin is that happened, and they hate that. And then, that's it. And now it has, and I genuinely don't even think there's actual real beef with Armin. There was. I think they're fine with him now, but it is inconvenient. And so they don't care. They don't have to like him, and they don't have to bump him in. Like, they didn't want him to fight at 324 because we know why. We talked ad nauseum about that. They wanted to potentially get Patty over and to have an exciting fight, and Armin probably ruins both of those plans. Now they're not going to move him to fight Ilya because they want to keep getting Ilya over, and Armin might beat his ass. So Armin's problems are that Armin screwed up one time and got behind the 8-ball, and circumstances have not really dictated kindly to him since then. But I doubt that like they actually have any issues. It is just a useful scapegoat to say Armin headbutted a dude, so we didn't give him a title fight. Because everyone will be like, yeah, that's fine. Okay, sure, I get it. Instead of being like asking a follow-up question.
Yeah, it's blatantly obvious what's happening right now. So it's all good. Who do you even pair Colby with? Jeff Neal, Sam Patterson? Obviously, Sam Patterson is booked with Michael Venom Page, which is kind of a weird one. I don't think a lot of people saw that one coming.
That's super weird.
Jeff Neal
Colby's been talking about going up to middleweight anyway, so let him go.
The Bo Nickel fight is perfect.
That's fine.
Absolutely perfect.
Fine. I wouldn't call it perfect, but it's fine.
Yeah. If it's not like, would you rather them do Bo Nickel, or would you rather them do Colby Wonderboy, or Colby Gilbert Burns, or Colby Masvidal 2?
Colby Wonderboy I'm fine with too, because that's two dudes who have no relevance to the welterweight division spinning their wheels. That's fine too.
Yeah. But I think Bo Nickel makes like, if we're trying to generate buzz, Bo Nickel's
totally fine.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Do they have any fights booked for the White House card yet? Not that I know of.
I mean, Dana said they were going to start working on the White House card after 324. So they've had a week and a half to formulate plans. Ilya Topuria came out today and it's like, I'm in the gym. I'm getting ready for June. It wouldn't remotely surprise me if Ilya Topuria versus Justin Gaethje was at the White House. That feels like a thing that may well happen. But
yeah. Seems
John Jones has arthritis, so I don't know if he can fight at the White House.
Yeah, that's crazy. What a story.
This is one of the funnier things that's happened this year.
Can't wrestle DC. I bad.
Can't wrestle DC. I could definitely fist fight somebody though. It's like, okay, that doesn't.
Alex Pereira, Stipe, come on down. Let's go.
It doesn't feel like the same. Like you could just be like, I'm not a wrestler, so no. That would be a perfectly fine answer, as opposed to I have arthritis in my hip and need a hip replacement. Can't do it. Okay. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, there's reporting out there that says like Ilya and his wife have like agreed on a thing. The charges against him or whatever thing was happening has been dropped. They've settled amicably upon like everything when it comes to that. We haven't like fully confirmed that yet, but it seems that was where that social media post came from, based on reporting out of Spain. So wouldn't shock me if we see Ilya versus Justin. Wouldn't shock me to see Michael Chandler on that card. I spoke with him the other day.
I'll be surprised if he's not on that card, frankly.
Yeah, he will be on that card. I don't know who he's fighting. It appears it won't be Conor McGregor. I know there's a clip of him talking to MMA Junkie about, I want to fight Max Holloway for the BMF belt if he beats Charles Oliveira at the White House. My interview's a
I
little
would do that.
different.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, my interview's a little different.
Actually, just beat the shit out of him. That'd be fun.
Yeah, he's got like kind of a list. I don't think any of them are really realistic, if we're being honest. But I do want to credit Damon Martin for this because I think this fight is absolutely perfect. How about Michael Chandler versus Terrence McKinney at the White House? That's just fun. That's gonna be 50 seconds of chaos. I love it. I think that's a great idea.
I mean, it's fine.
What would you do? How would you book Michael Chandler?
It's a good question. I don't know. It's a really tough question, frankly, because he's not very good. If you want to do like Chandler, I mean, I don't think they're going to do it because it feels like Moicano might be in the doghouse now, but like you could convince me Chandler versus Moicano. Chandler's ranked, which is wild. That's pretty nuts. I don't know. Honestly, no idea. Genuinely no clue what to do with him. Anybody's fine. Like he's fun. He's fun, exciting dude. I'll tell you what. Here's what you do. Actually, do Chandler versus BSD.
Oh, okay.
Because like BSD's sort of in also a weird spot of like he's trying to move up the rankings, but like I don't think he's getting a BMF title fight. And so then it's like, do you want to fight the loser of the BMF belt? I mean, it's still upward mobility, but that feels weaker. And the other option's Armin. And you're just going to lose to Armin. So fight Michael Chandler. Like, do one of those. Look, here, this is just a fun fight. Let's do it.
I mean, he should absolutely lobby for that. After the whole situation with UFC 311, I think Chandler like had some comments to Armin, and Armin was clapping back at Chandler.
Sure.
I'm like, Armin, get on the horn right now and fight him. Like,
also
what are we waiting for? Like, just go fight him right now. That would just go great for you. But yeah, the Dana testimony is pretty wild. I think Hunter Campbell is actually taking the stand today. He may even be on the stand as we speak. So I believe our own Damon Martin will have coverage of that later on as well. It seems like we got like literally nothing out of Dana yesterday, which is pretty funny.
I mean, yeah, if his response is, I don't know the answer to any of these questions, this is not my job, and he's not going to give a lot.
Chase asked, so Dana hate should be shifted to Hunter.
No, because the buck stops with him. You can also dislike Hunter Campbell if you choose to, but like, that's the thing. When you're the guy at the top, everything is your fault, even if it's not your fault. Like, even if you're not in the day-to-day of it, you have set the path of the ship. And so you are ultimately where responsibility lie.
Yes. And also you also choose to like be out in the public doing interviews and answering questions and going to the press conferences. Like, you're supposed to know these things. You're supposed to answer these questions. Like, you're here. If you stop doing that stuff, then like maybe you get let off the hook a little bit. So like, I just, this whole thing of like, I have to be the face of the company. No fighter shall be, it has to be me. It's so frustrating. Like those press conferences are so much better when John Anik's up there, just like moving things along. He like cares about the events, puts it over a little bit, has done research on the fighters involved, knows who everybody is. Like, yeah, it's pretty wild. But yeah, I mean, some of the matchmaking things, yeah, you blame Hunter, you blame the matchmakers, and then, and then you have Dana going on in public being like, oh, you don't like Volk and Diego Lopes? Well, just don't watch it then. Like, what? You're not even part of the matchmaking. Like, you had nothing to do with this fight. And yet you're the guy telling people not to watch it? Like, what is happening here? The whole thing is so weird. I mean, they're making a ton of money and good on them, but holy shit. Just so frustrating.
Yep.
Let's see. LazyPed trying to break some news. The Jacoby Smith news that's been out there for a couple days, from what I understand. That was supposed to happen at UFC Houston. No official word on that yet, if it's getting rebooked or if Jacoby's getting a new opponent. But that's been out there, my man. It's been out there. Hurts my soul. There's got to be one guy that I have that like misses out on fighting during a fantasy season, and maybe it's Jacoby Smith. But I might actually have a flyweight compete for the first time during this fantasy era in Brandon Moreno. So there you have it.
I mean, I have one guy missing out this season for sure.
Oh, for sure. But now you have the option to keep this man forever if you'd like.
I'm not.
You're not?
I'm gonna part ways with him.
Oh wow, this is huge news.
I can't be hurt again.
Solar Serpent says Armin versus BSD should be on the same card as Topuria versus Gaethje. Number one contender fight. I'd be fine with that. I don't know if it's happening.
I don't really want to do that. I don't know if
Armin versus Benoit Saint-Denis screams White House event, but I wouldn't be upset about that.
I also just really don't want Armin to fight Benoit Saint-Denis because in the very near future, lightweight is going to be an active title again, as opposed to defended once every 13 months. And so you need new contenders, and BSD is like right on the cusp. And so you're cutting off one of the possible contenders. So I would avoid having those two dudes fight each other. So when Armin gets the belt, then they can fight for the belt. As opposed to Armin getting the belt and looking around and be like, I've beat all these dudes. What the fuck do I do now?
A lot of people ask about this. Cosmo Kramer. Will John Silva's beef with Mauricio Rufy cause a rift inside the fighting nerds leading to John's downfall in terms of title aspirations? Prachus and Kaio seem to be still on good terms with Mauricio Rufy.
No. Also not something I'm deeply versed in. So correct me if I'm wrong here. Doesn't even really seem like he's got beef with him, right? Like, one, it wouldn't be a problem anyway because Rufy is, I don't believe, primarily there anymore now. And so, like, Jean is, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, Rufy worked with Volk and those guys.
Yeah, like, so the guy who's in the gym all the time is going to be fine. But also, like, this didn't feel like, I don't know what happened between them, but, like, seeing the comments on social yesterday was just like, okay, I guess frankly a pretty adult perspective from Jean Silva of like, yeah, we aren't cool right now, but I wish him the best. And I hope that I perceive these things. I think he should maybe go seek some help like I do, and that would be great. But like, he wasn't like, F that dude, I hope he kicks rocks in hell or anything, you know?
Yeah.
So let's see. Unless I'm just totally like missed it. If that's the case, then I'm wrong. But like, not everybody's gonna be your friend, or like some relationships don't work out for one reason or another, and you can sort of not necessarily amicably, but part ways with respect, even if there are some hurt feelings over things.
Yeah. Who's MVP fighting someone ranked? Doesn't he want a title? No,
that's not in the cards for him.
He doesn't seem like he wants the belt anyways. So there were a lot of rumblings. He was supposed to fight Yaroslav Amosov. That was like the big fight that Yaroslav was teasing.
We should super not do that.
And Amosov was like, has basically accused MVP of like ducking it. I'm, with all due respect to both athletes, we already seen that fight, like not literally, but we've seen something similar to it. That could end up being just a slog fest. Not for me. So at least Sam Patterson's like, I'm not saying Amosov's not fun, but stylistically, like Sam's going to try to like kick MVP's head off, and Amosov's not going to do that.
I just pulled up Guy's article, and I would like to read this quote.
Please.
As told to Lertaviana. I don't think there's much to explain. It's Ruffy on one side, me on the other. Internal business. I won't be the one to expose it. I haven't said anything. My heart is at peace and I won't talk. It's all good. Him there and me here. That's the truth. All I can say is that I want distance from him, and I hope he does too. If he says he doesn't, that he loves me, it's all good. I hope it's for real. I think he has his path. I'm rooting for his success. He has a beautiful family, and I hope he bears good fruits of his work. But I have my goals. If that's how I'm beefing with people, I have a rich and full life, man. Like that just in total sincerity. Like if that is my beef is people speaking like that about me, my life is very sanguine, because like that is, yeah, man, we have some problems, but I'm not going to air it out. And these are not problems that make me hate him, but we are different and we are at space, and I wish the best for him. That is, if that's your enemy, you got great enemies, man.
Hell yeah. Shout out to the Twitchsters. Clone asking, Jed, are you climbing step 5 this week?
Dude, I'm trying to figure it out. I might be climbing like step 10 this week. There's so many viable options this week. I'm trying to figure out how many to take, because like Mikhail Oleksiejczuk, I mean, Marc-Andre Barrios, fun fact, Mike, Marc-Andre Barrios 0-7 as an underdog. And I suspect he's soon to be 0-8 as an underdog. The over 1.5 in the main event, the over 1.5 in the co-main event. Kyoji Horiguchi just straight up. Like there are things out there that are looking tasty. So I'll have No Bet Sparred up at the end of today and have a cleaner idea of where I'm climbing this week and how many.
Yes, there's lots of events. We have, of course, PFL Dubai, the start of, I mean, literally like PFL's entire...
I've only seen one odds for that, and they are very long.
Yeah. I mean, this is the start of like, I mean, literally their entire promotion is probably on the line this year. So it is must win for PFL to...
Minus 1,800 for Usman Nurmagomedov against Alfie Davis, per our friends at FanDuel.
What do you think about that line?
That's a big line.
Is there a part of you that thinks,
nope,
I'll put a couple shekels on Alfie Davis?
Nope.
Why not?
Don't think he's going to win that fight. That is, look, when Vegas, also the plus on Alfie's plus 800. Look, lines like that are Vegas saying, don't bet this fight. Just don't do it. Because if you're going to bet on Usman, the price is just not even worth it. And really, like, you know, you'll feel great if you spike the Alfie, but you're just giving us free money if you bet on Alfie. So don't bet on this fight. And I'm going to take Vegas's advice. I'm going to not bet on that fight.
Okay. Are you looking forward to PFL this weekend?
There's definitely some good stuff happening on PFL this weekend. And this is, I'm not mistaken, this is like an earlier in the day card, right?
Yeah, they're in Dubai. So I think the prelims start at like 9 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, let me pull up the old card, because I know earlier this week I was responding to a Kaposa tweet about the card, basically, where he was like, you guys should care about this. And then I looked at the card, was like, oh yeah, man, that's actually I think the main event is a good fight, right? Like Alfie Davis is on a pretty decent little run. He won one of the tournaments, right? I think he was the champion.
Yeah, he won the lightweight Grand Prix.
Totally fine. Like a reasonable fight, even with the big odds. And you get to watch Usman Nurmagomedov, who's like one of the 7 or better best lightweights in the world. So that's against real opposition. Nurmagomedov versus Musayev is a very high level fight. I don't know that it's going to win any awards for excitement, but it's a very, very good fight. Jesus Pinedo is just always dope to watch. And Isbalayev might be really good. Unclear, but seems like he could be really good. Looking at the rest of this. Kavalov, good fighter. Ooh, that women's fight that's a fight that's happening. Rob Wilkinson's back. Oh, he's probably going to kill Luke Traynor. That's kind of fun. Yeah, there's some good stuff going on this card. And it's in the middle of the day, so I'll tune in. Pretty, like, this is basically the sort of best efforts the PFL can offer from a quality standpoint, not necessarily from a star standpoint, but quality. And so I will tune in because it'll be good fighting.
Yeah. I like the Luke Traynor Rob Wilkinson fight. I'm very high on Luke. It's kind of tough that he has not fought under the PFL banner yet in his entire run, because he was hurt all of last year. So that's kind of a tough spot to be in, but chance for him to look really good here and maybe get a title shot. Dude's got charisma, and he is very exciting to watch. So I do like.
I'll be honest,
quite a bit.
I do not know a lot about Luke Traynor. So
Tune in early to watch him. I think he should be on the main card, honestly. I think that fight, like, we're getting a Carl Williams fight on this card.
Yeah, that was, I was
on
like,
the
I
main
don't know what's
card.
going on there, but okay.
I mean, definitely a guy who was a middleweighty heavyweight for quite some time. So that's the thing that's happening. So I mean, this just has to be fun. Like, it has to be fun. We can't have, how many fights are on this friggin' card? 13. We cannot have 12 decisions out of 13 fights. That just cannot happen here. The main card cannot have 6 decisions. We need finishes. We need excitement.
How do I watch this?
It's on the ESPN Platinum app thing.
Oh,
it's like $30 a month.
Stupid thing.
Yeah, I don't know why they're doing that. I don't understand it. I know it's
I'm
ESPN's
so
call,
happy
but
done with ESPN.
yeah, get on the Plus, man. Like, make this.
I don't want to do this.
Is it on regular ESPN at all?
I have no idea.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just seeing the ESPN toggle, so I don't really know.
LazyBet. MMA Fighting and Dave Feldman reported Mike Perry facing biggest name he's ever fought ×5 in his next bout. Simultaneously, Nick Diaz claiming he'll be champion soon. Coincidence or collusion? There will be an article coming out tomorrow, Mike Perry's response. If you want to get his response, you can go to our YouTube channel where I asked Mike about this. I read the quote specifically to him, and he agrees. Mike agrees that there are some things Dave said he wasn't 100% sure about. Dave's teasing, we're going to do this in Orlando. It's going to be a homecoming for Mike. Mike was like, yeah, the location, didn't really hear much about that. And then I asked him straight up, I'm like, do you feel like if this is the name you get, this will be the biggest name you fought ×5? And he said, yes, dude's a legend. He's done legendary shit. Things will get real mean in there. So I think there's some smoke to this fire. Perhaps, I mean, if you're going to announce it, if this is a thing, you should probably announce it on Saturday during your biggest event of the year, Knucklemania. It's your tentpole big event. So maybe we'll get an announcement there, but it can't be Nick Diaz, right? Like, that would be what my nightmares are made of, if that's the fight they make.
I mean, I think it can be Nick Diaz. I hope that it's not.
I certainly, please don't do this to us.
But I would guess that it is a little bit more likely that it's Nate. Than Nick. Because Nate Diaz is a bigger name than Nick Diaz is. And there's nothing there's nothing preventing Nate from doing it, is the thing.
That's true.
Other than just whether he wants to, right? And so I'd be surprised, because in general it doesn't feel like Nate wants to do that. But also, like, if the paycheck's right, and I don't know what else Nate's doing, feels like a thing that he would do pretty well in, realistically. And so if I was guessing, my money's on Nate, basically because I don't know who else it would be. And I struggle. I just really doubt that if it was Nick, Feldman would have laid it on this thick, right? Like, I can see BKFC going to Nick Diaz, but Feldman is not like totally unaware of everything around him. And I just don't think he'd try and hype up Nick, given everything that's gone on with Nick to this degree. I could just be wrong, though. Could totally be wrong.
Yeah. I mean, would Nick be the biggest name Perry's fought ×5?
In BKFC, yes. I mean, none of this is true, because the actual biggest name Perry's ever fought is Jake Paul, but he didn't fight him in BKFC.
Yes.
But I would say Nick Diaz, I mean, ×5 is hyperbolic anyway, but that's why, because obviously I saw the Nick stuff. I was like, honestly, ×5 feels more like Nate. That just feels more like Nate Diaz to me. So Nate is my prediction. I wouldn't bet a lot of money on it, but if you're asking me to who I think it's going to be, Nate Diaz is the answer.
So I was talking, obviously Damon spoke to Feldman. He made me aware of this quote before I talked to Mike. And then we obviously went back and forth on Slack asking who could it be? Cause Dave Feldman has overpromised and underdelivered a few times, and I like BKFC. I think they have something there. I think they've lost a ton of luster over the last couple of years, which is sort of a bummer. But Damon threw out this name, and I was like, oh my God, like that could happen? I don't know. Like I was trying to justify not believing this could be a thing. Could we get Mike Perry versus Anderson Silva in BKFC?
Also, that would also make sense.
It can't be. I love the Robbie Lawler idea, but
I don't think that's
the name.
Feel right to me. Anderson is possible.
Yeah.
I don't know why Anderson would want to do that, but you could convince me that as well. I'm still sticking with Nate, but
this would be
possible.
Humongous. That'd be absolutely humongous if they pulled that off.
Anderson's possible, but I'm sticking with Nate. Let it be known. I haven't seen a lot of other people saying Nate Diaz, so if I'm right, clip this and let me dunk on fools.
The best part of Nick saying he's going to be champ quote was the metal part at the end where it said from rehab facility, like holy hell.
Everything about that whole thing made me sad. I mean, I'm not sad that he's in rehab. Good for him. I hope that sticks. But him being like, I'd like to fight Islam Makhachev, was like, okay. I don't know how to gentle parent you out of this, but.
And Hamza Chimaev, I believe was the other name you said.
Yeah, sure, buddy. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's just like talking to a toddler. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. That's right. The moon is made of cheese, and you are the biggest and strongest boy.
Where's Big Tuna at?
The ocean?
Dirty Boxing. He had a knockout win at Dirty Boxing, I believe.
Is the name Big Tuna? Is that who Mike Perry is fighting?
I mean, that would be the biggest name he's fought times 5. I would be so excited for that. I told Mike I was like, dude, Big Tuna might steal your show in Nashville. Just be prepared for that. The most mismanaged fighter in the history of Bellator. I cannot believe they screwed that up so badly. I can. I can. I
can believe that.
Yeah. I can see it. All right, let's see if the Twitchers.
The Twitchers.
What do we got here? What other questions you guys got? I mean, we could wrap this up pretty soon. We do have a preview show for UFC Vegas. Do you like this? Do we have a fart score for UFC Vegas 113? Because I gotta say, and people know I'm trying to trend into more positive lands in 2026. I was one of the few that was like, yeah, UFC 325 is a good card. And I got clobbered for it, and probably rightfully so, for being honest, but I'm still trying to be positive here. I gotta say, for the Meta Apex debut, this ain't bad. Like, it might feel, I hope it doesn't feel as soulless as Zuffa Boxing has felt in the newly designed arena feel of the Meta Apex, but as far as like a card goes, and if they can fill it up with vibrant fans who are loud and enthusiastic, I think we could have some fun here, Jed. What's the score for this one?
Somewhere between 5 and 6, it looks like. Tune in. I'll have a score tomorrow when we do the preview show. Yeah, it looks like somewhere between 5 and 6. I think the top 3 fights are quite good. With the caveat that one of them is a heavyweight contest, but I'm actually pretty interested in Almeida Kuniev. At least like in principle. Oleksiejczuk Barrow is just gonna be fun. I think Basharat Matsumoto is a great fight.
Yep.
There's a light heavyweight fight that's happening. Then the rest of it's like there are some other fights happening. Veretinikov versus Price would probably be a murder. The other Basharat, short notice opponent. Wang Song's back. Like there's Moon Gafarov, Jakub Wicklats is probably going to be really fun as one of the early openers. The prelims have some fun matchups, and there are 3 very good fights and some other spots of intrigue. Like this is maybe like a B plus Apex card, right? Like it's not right down the middle of average for Apex, maybe like just 1 hash mark above average for an Apex event.
Yeah, it's a very solid main event with stakes. in some importance, more so for Vinicius Oliveira. Batista, I mean, if he beats Vinicius, I don't think he gains a whole hell of a lot from this because he's a guy that's going to have to just win a million fights to get a title fight anyways. But if Lokdog goes out there,
you're
and clobbers
underselling
him,
this. This is Mario Batista's first fight back with his full name.
Oh, yes,
he's
that's a
earned his
great
full
point.
name back. Now can he keep it? Can he maintain his own name? We get to find out against a guy like Lokdog.
Shout out to Gianni Vasquez, getting his opportunity finally with the UFC. He is, I'm sure LazyBet is well aware of who Gianni Vasquez is. The Up Next Fighting flyweight champion. Dude has looked incredible. Arguably should have been signed with the UFC a long time ago. You probably know him best. By the way, has a win over David Martinez. So that's something to keep in mind.
David Martinez.
But he's probably most known for being on the wrong end of maybe the worst referee blunder we've ever seen against Edgar Shirez, who is also in the UFC. The armbar that was on forever.
Remember when he got his arm ripped off his body?
While he was unconscious and the referee decided not to stop the fight.
He was giving him a chance. He's giving him a chance.
Yeah, lots of chances. We knew the Texas commission was atrocious. I did a whole deep dive into that. If you guys ever want to go back and read it and listen to it on the podcast network, is from like in 2023. I think if you go back and check it out, full deep dive from both sides, from Alex Moreno, who is doing commentary on it, from
Alex Morono's fighting this weekend.
And Alex is fighting this weekend. Big John McCarthy was a part of it. Maybe probably one of the most like time consuming things that I've done. I think it's one of the coolest things that I've put together covering the sport. But now we are so close to that rematch, Jed. We could get that.
That's
but
right.
yes,
It's
he's
on
stepping
offer.
in. Well, I saw that he signed, and then like I reached out to his manager, and I was like, finally, like you got him in, like he's there. And I like immediately assumed, I'm like, all right, he's fighting at UFC Mexico. I was like, I assume he's fighting in Mexico. He goes, no, he's fighting Saturday. I'm like, what? I'm like, who's he fighting? And then he told me, I was like, oh man, all right,
tough one, right? Like,
yeah, winnable though.
Pretty decent fighter.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than Fareed.
Well, that's true. Also, Basharat's like a pretty big bantamweight, so flyweight champ might be tough on short notice, but maybe not. We'll see. I don't know a ton about Gianni, so
yeah, he's good. He's very good. I mean, I don't know if he wins this fight. It wouldn't shock me if he did, because he is very talented.
I bet he's going to be a really big underdog, but odds are
probably. What else we got? A lot of love for Jakob Wiklax, the fighter who beat the Pound for Pound best bantamweight in the world on the card.
He did. Patchy Mix's career was so bad in the UFC that I forgot he lost to Jakob Wiklax. I thought he beat him because I thought that he won that fight, even though it was like very competitive. And I was just like, yeah, Patchy went 1-1 in the UFC and then bails. Like, actually, no, he went 0-2. I forgot he lost to Jakob.
Yes. Tough scenes, man. Tough
run.
Cosmo, 7 out of 10 if UFC Vegas 113.
It's the new warehouse. It's the new warehouse. There are people at the warehouse. It might be better.
Yes, we have Knuckle.
It won't be great, but it might be better.
Knucklemania 6, I believe this is. BKFC, let's run this card down. The main
I
event,
am legitimately interested to see this weekend, like the Apex with people in it, and see how that. Because I haven't really noticed much. I didn't watch the second Zuffa boxing because the first one bored me to tears. It actually literally bored me to sleep. But like, I didn't really feel like it was a little bit better than thing. But I'll have a better concept of like, are the 700 seats actually substantive to adding some level of ambiance to the event?
Yeah, I mean, we knew what the first Zuffa boxing event would be. It would be a bunch of like Dana's influencer friends just like showing up and doing kick streams in there while boxing was going on. I'm curious to see how the BKFC event goes over, because the lore and like, I guess the bigness, I don't even know if that's a word, of these Knucklemania events
It's a great word.
it's because of like MMA fighters competing on this card, like in a slew of them and like big name ones, like Mike Perry, Eddie Alvarez, like fights of that nature. Like those are the types of fights we get in the main event slot. And I knew we were supposed to get Lorenzo Hunt versus Yoel Romero, and like, sure, yeah, I mean, that's cool and all. Like the main event is Ben Rothwell, Andrei Arlovsky in a bare knuckle fight. And then we have Hunt and David Mundell. But the rest of the card is like, unless you are like a huge BKFC fan, like there's not gonna be like a ton of crossover here. Ben Bonner, Tony Soto, which they fought before.
I do need you to correctly characterize the main event as Rothwell Arlovsky 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you very much. Ben Rothwell finally getting his chance at redemption, or will Andrei Arlovsky continue to dominate Ben Rothwell and take the BKFC title?
We have Matthew Semmelsberger making his BKFC.
I just saw that. I was like, oh, yes. Hell yeah. Way to go, Sim.
Yeah, they're doing like a public tryout, and I think him and the guy he's fighting are like guys who won the public tryout. How about that? Charles
Bennett
actually
might be decently well suited to BKFC. Sort of a big physical dude.
A great athlete who can't get tackled in this type of situation.
I could kind of see Semmelsberger making a little bit of a noise here. Okay.
Charles Bennett is apparently fighting on this card.
Crazy horse. There's a man, Mike. Mike, are you on the Tapology right now?
I sure am.
Right under Charles Bennett.
Are you talking about Bear Hill?
And the photo that accompanies Bear Hill.
That's a terrific beard.
I mean, everything about Bear Hill, I don't want to learn anything about this man because I am confident that it would make me not like him. But just this photo and the name Bear, the Last Barbarian Hill, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
He is 2-0 in BKFC with 2 knockouts, all in the 3rd round. He does have some MMA experience. A guy like
2-1 in MMA.
Apparently his given name is Shelby Hill, and I was like, I wonder if Bear Hill has a nickname.
It to Bear Hill. I'd go to Bear too.
Yeah. Are they going to call him just Bear Hill, or are they going to do Bear the Last Barbarian Hill? I don't think you need an extra nickname with Bear.
You don't, but if you look at this photo, you're like, okay.
It looks like, I mean, if there was one remaining barbarian.
You were the last, but like Bear the Barbarian Hill, you'd be like, yeah. But Bear Hill, I mean, I was going to say sounds like, but is almost absolutely like the location for a Civil War battle. Like that, like this was Custer's stand on Bear Hill is like a thing that happened. And you can see this dude. I mean, I'm going to dive into the IG. Oh no, there's no IG for Bear Hill. Why is that the case?
Maybe it's under Shelby. Or maybe it's under the Last Barbarian.
No, just the link from Tapology didn't work. Now he does have one. Okay. 1,600 followers. What a king.
Go follow. Everyone go follow Bear Hill. He might be the big tuna of BKFC.
I mean, one of these is a video of a dude just throwing tires into his stomach. So that's fun. Yeah, this guy should be the champion. I support him. I don't support his views on anything because I don't know and I don't want. Oh well,
Don't dive too deep, Jed.
The one thing that makes me think he and I maybe wouldn't have the best conversations ever, but yeah, Bear Hill. This is a man who was literally built to fight in BKFC.
He's only 32. Wow.
I will support him. I mean, one great gimmick because like when you look like this at 32, when you're 55, everyone's like, you haven't aged a day. I'm like, yeah, I haven't. Oh, Bear Hill. Also, he's moving some pretty heavy weight in the gym.
I mean, if his name's Bear Hill, he better be.
I'm just continuing to scroll because at some point I'm assuming I'll see a motorcycle. Because if this man doesn't own a Harley Davidson, I will be deeply, deeply surprised by his lack of that.
Nah, he should be riding horses.
With
a sword.
No, because he's a barbarian. He has an axe at the minimum.
Oh, great call. Great shout.
Also, yeah, like why am I not seeing this dude at axe throwing somewhere? Like that feels right. Man, he has a robust Instagram. him. There's a lot. Like this dude be posted.
He's only got 1,200 followers.
He'd be posting, and a terrific beard. Just, I mean, really an exceptional beard.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bear Hill. Oh my God. I went deep enough to see a photo of him without the beard. Great call to have the beard. To just say, really good choice to have the beard, man.
Golly.
Yeah, I hope this guy beats the soul out of Patrick Brady.
Probably a Philly guy.
Who's Patrick Brady is just like, okay. Sure. I went to high school with like 3 Patrick Bradys, I assume.
How many Bear Hills did you go to high school with?
None. Never met a Bear Hill in my life. Probably haven't even met a Shelby Hill, though that's at least closer to something.
Let's go. If UFC 325 is a good card, what about UFC London? MVP for Sam. We mentioned MVP for Sam Patterson, but it's a fight. Obviously, we got Movsar Evloev versus Lerone Murphy officially announced as the main event, which not a single question about that, which is kind of surprising. Maybe it's because of everything that's
everyone
gone on
sort of knows.
Thoughts on UFC London? I mean, I have not seen a lot of positivity when it comes to what this card looks like.
It's pretty tough. I just pulled it up. So the main event's very good, right? Evloev Murphy is a very, very good fight. Delete CLD makes sense, right? Like that's CLD is getting an opportunity to move in. Delete is probably leaving the rankings. Yep, totally fine on that.
Do you like Luke Riley, Michael Aswell being the co-main event?
No, that's very, very silly. But like they want to push Luke Riley to the moon. Okay, sure. Nathaniel Wood, Listen Keita is a fun fight, but not like an amazing scrap, which is basically the Nathaniel Wood story at this point. Mick Park and Mario Pinto is.
We'll have a great time watching that one.
I mean, that's a heavyweight fight, being heavyweighty. And then the rest of this is just like Louis Sutherland. We're putting another heavyweight fight on this card. Okay.
A lot of fantasy implications here. I got Movsar and I got Ewo fighting former heavyweight Austin Lane.
Yeah, this card's pretty weak. I guess MVP Sam Patterson is like marginally interesting. Sam Patterson's a good run, but off the top of my head, this seems like the weakest London effort of all time.
It's one of them. What was
You'd have to really convince me that there's a London card that's worse than this.
What was UFC London last year?
That
was the Sean Brady, Leon Edwards card, I believe. Right? Edwards versus Brady. Well, I mean, you had some stuff here. The co-main was Carlos Ulberg, Jan Blachowicz.
Okay.
Kevin Holland, Gunnar Nelson was the featured bout.
Sure.
Molly McCann was supposed to...
Those 3 already make it better than this card.
We got the short notice debut of Alexia Tainara, retiring Molly McCann. Chris Duncan, Jordan Fuchenik, Nathaniel Wood, Morgan Charrier. That was the main card. Much better than this one.
Yeah, that's superior to what's going on here. But like, yeah, I mean, London cards are London cards. London's in the spot where they have England has a few very high-end fighters, but those fighters are championship fighters, so they ain't fighting at London,
Axel Sola, Mason Jones is going to be very fun. I do like that fight. But,
yeah, I think some of these will be fun.
Yeah.
I assume Antonio Tricoli is going to get blown up by
we know why Antonio Tricoli is on this card.
There's some fun stuff will happen. It'll be a decent time. It'll probably, because it's not a pay-per-view, so it'll be at a reasonable hour. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
not great, but fine.
It's a very UFC 325-y looking card.
Yeah,
where it's like,
but it'll happen in the middle of the day instead of at night, and some stuff will happen.
What time does this start? That's a great question. 1 p.m. Eastern is the
prelims. I assume that this is
1 p.m. 4 p.m.
They're not going to make this card wait.
Yeah, this is what UFC 325 should have been.
Could have been.
But there's no Road to UFC fights on this card, so.
I mean, we got some Road to UFC quality fights on this card.
Yeah. AZ Ray, honestly, PFL has a better UK roster than UFC, to be honest.
I can't imagine that's true, but it's, it's not like, I mean, the UFC has Tom Aspinall. That wins.
It does win.
They also have Paddy Pimblett. So you're kind of just winning with those two. But there are obviously some very good UK, I know Ireland is not in the UK, but also Irish fighters as well for PFL. So
yeah. So that's UFC London. We're still waiting the main event for UFC 327.
We're waiting on the co-main for 325.
I mean, TBD versus TBD. Do you think I think we're getting I think we're probably getting a Josh Van fight. I don't know for sure.
Sorry,
that'd be my guess.
325.
326, excuse me. Yes.
No, I think the co-main event is going to be RDR versus Bahalio, and they're going to bump it.
That'd be so disappointing. I mean, because that was already the co-main event.
Yeah,
it was already the co-main event. Just make it that.
I agree. It's 4 weeks away. I don't think that they're going to spin anything up. I don't think you need to spin anything up. The main event carries this pretty well. The only thing that could track to me at all is if they do replace Moicano's opponent with somebody with juice, right? Because at least Moicano was already prepping for the thing, but to just spin up a full flyweight title fight in 4 weeks that would be ludicrous. Because you can just move that to 327, which also needs stuff. So, my assumption is they put that graphic up because they didn't, maybe they had some ideas or, they still might even be trying, but it's just going to be Bahalio RDR as the co-main.
Yeah, that's UFC 326. At least the main event
is not I defended it in the mailbag column this week. I actually think this is a pretty decent card. It's not a great card, but there aren't great cards anymore. You just sort of have to acknowledge that that's not on offer as a fan of the sport anymore. But that main event's rips, so it doesn't matter. This is significantly better than 325 and arguably better than 324.
Yeah, it's
RoboCop Bruno Vajeda.
It's not better than 324. That's maybe in execution it'll be a more fun watch.
That's the thing. It'll be. I think it's going to be deeply fun. Bahalio RDR is going to be fun. RoboCop Bruno is going to be fun. Rob Font Raul Rosas Jr. I don't know if that's going to be fun, but that's a good fight. That is a fight that it makes sense. That is logical, and the outcome will be meaningful one way or another. And then after that, there's no juice. But that's just all pay-per-views. There are 5, maybe 6 good fights, and then a smattering of stuff.
Bunch of squash matches on this one,
and maybe Moicano fights somebody. And if Moicano fights something, that adds a little juice to it too.
Maybe Cody Garbrandt wins a fight. This is his best opportunity.
It is winnable.
This one is winnable.
I don't think he's going to win, and I love that Cody Garbrandt exists in this sport. He is perfect because instead of having to make this long, rational, well-researched argument to be maybe we should stop anointing people as soon as they win, that they'll just never lose a fight again and that they're the greatest of all time. Cough. Ilya Topuria. Cough. I just be I remember when Cody Garbrandt was never going to lose. How'd that go? I'm oh, you're right. We actually should have dudes fight the best guys in their weight class instead of just being there's no point. He'll beat them all. Cody Garbrandt is the perfect. Yeah, look, sometimes you can be awesome and then actually lose a lot.
Have you guys seen the highlights going around of Volk blocking a bunch of Lopez's strikes with his elbow, shin bone, etc.? Great use of defense to hurt your opponent. Yeah, I mean, we're watching it play out live.
He landed 4 kicks actually during the fight and everything else got checked.
Yeah.
And he broke his foot because he's not good.
That's why we kept when they kept putting the significant striking numbers up, I was Volk has blocked 90% of these or checked them or at least got some piece of a guard up to sort of absorb anything. It was just Volk's just so much. He's just a good fighter. He's just a good fighter, and he called it. He said Diego's not going to be able to change what he needs to change in order to beat me. So I'm just going to kind of do the same stuff and prepare for that guy, but a guy who's probably going to go for broke a little bit more. And
he
Diego certainly didn't do that.
Broke more.
He certainly didn't. And he was just like, okay, well, we're doing this. All right, sure. This is a nice win for me. We'll go ahead and do that. So, yeah, great stuff. And just, again, it was one of those things like, why do we do this? Why do we do this?
Shout out to Jack Slack and who else did it? I'm trying to think. It wasn't Connor Rebush. Somebody else who, and this never struck me, but it's 100% right. And now I realize why I felt this way for a long time. Diego Lopes is just Brian Ortega. He's the same guy. Like he's the same. He's just big. He's a big plodding dude with minimal footwork. But he can be like super dangerous in moments. And so that's it. Like if you get caught by Brian Ortega in the third round, and there you go. But if not, you're going to beat him. If you're just like a very good fighter who doesn't fold to one hyper offensive person. I was like, oh yeah, good. And I've spent most of my career at MMA fighting being like, Brian Ortega is trash. And now I have a new guy to do that with for the foreseeable future. So shouts.
Oh, man.
Man, one of my best takes ever. That has aged so well. Like, yeah, he's trash.
Who would you, if they booked Diego Lopes versus Yair Rodriguez, who are you picking?
Diego.
Okay.
I mean, Diego feels like actually quite well suited to beating a guy like Yair.
Duke Mad Duck, take a couple more and then we'll get out of here. But Neil Dare, you said UFC would try to book him in March/April. Do you think he's getting fed to Manuel Torres?
Probably. I mean, that kind of makes some sense. Honestly. I had not considered that, but
who kind
of would make more sense to give like an unranked dude at lightweight instead of like Torres moving up 3 spots and Darius still holding a number.
Who did
you
I
just
book
be like
for Benny?
But
on to the next one. Was it someone off of 324? Who was it? Maybe it was last week. I don't know. Oh, Killen Salkid. That's who I picked for Benny.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. They're probably gonna feed him to somebody. Killen seems like a good choice.
Yeah, that's the one. Get him, and Benny has a great night, and Killen doesn't clobber him in the first 3 minutes.
Killen should try and go fight Moicano.
Arman Sarukian should go try to fight Moicano too. Like, just go in there and beat him. And just be like, see, save the day. Sure. Let's see what else.
I like how you've abandoned Derek Lewis and just adopted Arman Sarukian as the answer to all of life's problems. You know who should fight that dude? Arman Sarukian should fight that dude.
Let's see. Hot take. Volk is a decision merchant, yet doesn't get the same label as Movsar because he, instead of wrestling, tippy taps at range point fighting.
There's actually some truth to this. But not for the reasons he says. Maybe a little bit. I mean, just broadly, the sport is, or the fan base is, negative towards grapple-centric victories. But I mean, also a lot of being exciting, or is the perception that you are exciting. And he has had very great fights against great fighters. And so you're kind of, when you fight Max Holloway a bunch, it's just nobody's talking about that. You're actually a decision merchant, but he is. I was shocked when I actually looked at the numbers. He has 4 finishes at featherweight, or in the UFC at featherweight, whatever. In like 15 fights, he has 4 stoppages, which is really low, frankly. And that's like, and I don't think he's not in a spot in his career where it's likely he's going to get a lot more of them, But a lot of it is just momentum. It's the perception that you're exciting. And he is also just objectively more exciting than Movsar. But he is also it is statistically true to say he is a decision merchant.
Thank you, DJ. Good show. Remember, Mike, nobody likes the Patriots.
I think they're going to win. I've come to the determination.
You have.
Yeah.
I love this for you. This might be your best take yet.
I mean, I have no dog in this fight. I will nominally be supporting them.
Okay, Tom Brady. Okay, Tom. I have no dog in this fight. By the way, please explain why you think the Patriots are going to win and the absolute backlash that Tom Brady has gotten that you've probably seen on social media.
I have not. I have no idea.
So Tom Brady was asked who he thinks going to win. I don't know who he did this interview with. I don't remember. But he was like, "Yeah, I don't have a dog in this fight." And like,
well, that's stupid.
A lot of people.
He has to say that because he is a team owner, but that's very stupid. He obviously has a dog in this fight.
Asante Samuel, Vince Wilfork, whole bunch of like expatriates are like pretty much like F this dude. Asante Samuel's like, respond to me or I'm going to like out you for the human being you are if you don't respond by this time. Like so much shit going on with like some of his old teammates, but he's also like a color commentator for the NFL. Yeah. So like, I don't know like what he can and can't say. And that's like Teddy Bruschi being on an analyst desk for ESPN. Of course he could be like, yeah, man, Mike Vrabel's my old teammate. Love that dude. I want him to win.
Oh, is he calling the bowl too?
Well, it's on Peacock, but I don't know if like.
Oh, so I don't know. I'll say if he's not calling it, then I mean, look, he is a team owner, and so he's not supposed to say stuff like that. So like, but also like, he has a dog in the fight, so it's just not something I care about to be upset by him saying I don't have a dog, like him lying because he's just lying. But it's. Of the things to care about in this world, lying in that instance is not one that bothers me. But, you know, whatever. I've come to the determination, Mike, that the Pats are going to win because I've listened to a lot of content about football this week and watched a little bit of it. And you have the much superior quarterback. And while I do think there's a lot of truth to the idea that the Seahawks defense is better, the Patriots defense in the postseason, basically since they've gotten all their guys back, has been exceptional. And then I have also seen a thing where actually the Patriots defense all year long was quite good if you remove the first 15 plays of each game, which are the scripted plays. But then after that, they were still they're like one of the top 3 teams in DVOA for the remaining plays of the game. So their ability to adjust mid-game to what is happening from the opposing team. And so, I don't know. I don't think it's a bold stance to be like, I'm going to not trust Sam Darnold, despite he's actually played extremely well in the postseason for the Seahawks. But I'll believe Sam Darnold wins a Super Bowl when he wins it. And if he does, congratulations to him. But until then, you have a better quarterback and you also have a very good defense. So I'm going to assume that the Sam Darnold team loses.
You're very smart. Achilles Jr., not so much.
But shout out to Achilles Jr., who also channel member.
Became a member. I mean, we love Achilles. He talks a lot of shit, but it's all right.
Daz Riccio, Mina Kimes, is one of my absolute favorite people to listen to about football. She is very smart.
She knows the game.
She is very, very smart. She is much, much smarter about football than I am.
Yes, Peacock will have the Super Bowl and the Winter Olympics. We'll end with Lazy Bed's super chat. Within 30 minutes of the Harden to Cavs news yesterday, the local strip joint had a sign welcoming him to the land. Wild times. Yeah. That is spectacular.
I don't follow the NBA basically at all at this point. But I do greatly respect that James Harden has a gimmick, and his gimmick is strip clubs. It's just high class.
It's quite a gimmick. Quite a gimmick. All right, I think we are done here. I don't know if there's going to be a show next week. I will not be here at all next week. Once Sunday.
Oh, I forgot about that. We'll have a show. I'll figure it out.
Maybe you and Jose can work something out.
Let me look at the schedule, and then I'll figure it out. We'll do a show next week.
Okay. Even if it's in pod form, Jed will make it happen.
We can make it happen. Yeah. Also, I'm traveling next week too, so I'll get with Jose because I did not think about that at all. And I'm going to Florida next week.
Me too. How about that? Yes,
Where are you going in Florida?
I will be in St. Augustine for a little golf outing with
that's right,
and
the
two of my
golf trip,
brothers.
yeah.
Yes. So the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl on Sunday, and then I'm going to head out on Monday, and then the golf starts Tuesday, and it's going to be a great time. So I'm very excited for that, and very excited for Sunday, and very excited for the combat sports action on Saturday. PFL kicks things off at 9 a.m.
Good
Eastern.
weekend. Good weekend of fights.
Solid stuff. UFC at the Meta Apex with people. Very much looking forward to that. That is a pretty solid lineup. And then BKFC in Philly, Knucklemania 6. And stick with us at MMAfighting.com. Great website, and it'll be great coverage. We will have all the updates, all the results, and all of that fun throughout the event. So
we love fun. We're big supporters of fun.
We are big supporters of fun. And that's the music. The music is playing, and you guys are the best. So I will see you guys in a couple weeks.
You guys are the best. I'm glad Mike's mentioned that because I would have been like, how are we doing this on Wednesday? And now that I figured that out, we'll figure something out. Because there are no fights next week, so we got to at least do a BTL to talk about all the big stories. Vegas 113, Michael.
That's right.
All the big stories.
And we'll see you then. For Jedi and Mike Heck, enjoy the rest of your week, everybody.
Love y'all.